Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I am finally going to convert over my Epson 2720, my replacement one, because I've done this before, and that particular printer messed up. So I had to get another one from Epson because there was a scanner issue on it. So now I am going to do it again. And this time will be a little bit faster because I don't have to do the to install the drivers, but I will show you guys where you are to go to install your drivers and like where you go to download them. But I already have this particular printer on my computer already, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Just give me just a moment to go ahead and share this video out. If you have not done so, go ahead and hit that share button and share it to Facebook. Choose a Facebook group to share it to. And I will be right back because I'm going to share this out as well. All right, we're going to get started shortly. Okay, so I'm back again. I did share this over on Facebook real quick, just so that others will know that I am live on YouTube right now. So let's see. We're going to go ahead and... Oh, why did this show up as a listing instead of... Oh, great. So that came up more as a sales rather than as a regular listing. Okay, that's interesting. Alrighty, let's go ahead and do that. The link for it is in the, so if you're looking at it on Facebook right now, I will not be staying on Facebook. If you click on the image or click on the description, there is, and hit see more, there is a, oh, wait a minute. You know what? The direct link is not there. So let's rectify that so that I can add the direct link because it was not on here. So let's go back and let's go edit, and I'm going to post that direct link for you guys so that you can watch it live on YouTube. That's where this live will take place, but I just wanted you guys to know So I just sent that over. I'm going to check that to see if it now shows it. Yes, the YouTube link is now there. If you are watching over on YouTube, just click in the description box and head over to YouTube. That is where the conversion will take place. I just added it to the stream so that you guys know that I am live on YouTube doing an Epson 2720 conversion. I'm going to do it live and go step by step. Also share this video out, okay? So I'm going to use this one to share out. All right, live on YouTube. Click the link in the description. So I am sharing this a little bit of everywhere. Again, if you are watching live on Facebook, head on over to the YouTube channel. The direct link is in the description of the videos. Head on over to the YouTube channel so that you can interact live and ask any questions that you may have about converting your 2720 over to sublimation. I am going to do this a little bit different because, as you know, I am the professor. So I want to show you something when it comes to putting inks and understanding how Epson printers work, whether it is an EcoTank or a workforce printer. So if you are watching over on Facebook, be sure to head on over to the YouTube video because this video or the live feed right now is going away in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you over on YouTube, guys. All right. We are going to get started. All right. As you guys can see, we are going to convert an Epson 2720. And guess what? I forgot to do was I'm going to grab the power cord off of the old one because it's underneath here in the box as far as the power cord. So I'm going to grab the power cord off the old one and try not to drop this. Let me just grab this. Okay, there we go. That part fell in the trash. I completely forgot to grab the power cord to plug this one up. So first, before I do that, we're going to go ahead and take off all of the tape on this. I am going to use, of course, honestly speaking, Sublimation ink. It is 140 milliliters of ink, so you will get 2 full refills of the tank because the tank holds 70 milliliters. So you'll get 2 full refills with our ink. Let's go ahead and remove all of the tape first. I already took this out of the box. Just make sure you remove all of the tape. And can you guys hear me okay? Just want to make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear. And also let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb so that we don't get any calls again. All right, perfect. Okay. I'm going to throw that away. And let's go ahead and let's move these out of the way. I'm not going to use those to fill. I have a set of ink that I just constantly reuse. So we're going to go there. All right, perfect. I did this conversion before. And what I did with that was I showed 4 different ways to fill your ink tanks. So even if you are not using, honestly speaking, ink or any inks that have the, and don't forget the tape up there. Plug that in. Okay. So if you don't have the inks that are keyed for it, you can watch the other video. I show you how you can take the Epson ink bottles, rinse them out, put the ink in there, or you can simply just use the top for it. Never take the ink out, put the top on the port and just pour the ink in, or you can use a syringe. So those are all options for putting the ink in the printer. What I am going to do with this one is I'm not going to fill this up. One of the worst things is to have the printer, set it up, and realize that it does not work. That happens often with some of these printers. It's just a manufacturer issue. When you set it up, it just does not, it doesn't work. So I'm not going to actually fill these up. And you're going to see that even though I don't fill it up, the chip on the inside doesn't know that. Everyone always thinks that when it comes to eco tanks, oh, it reads your levels perfectly, but you can keep adding ink to this. If you do not reset it and tell it that you've added ink to it, it will still read at the level it was at before. And I'm going to demonstrate that by not filling up the reservoirs, but the printer is going to show that it is completely filled. Doing it this way, I'm going to kind of just show it this way to where you can kind of test that out and then top it off when needed, just in case it is a dud, it doesn't quite work. You can go in and open it up. You have to unscrew it to siphon out the ink. But if you only put a little bit in there, you might not, worry so much about just leaving just that little bit of ink in there and then sending it back to the store or to Epson. So I'm going to show you that. So as soon as you turn it on, I'm going to turn it around to the other camera here. So just give me a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this around so that you can see, hopefully, the panel on here. I'm going to grab this ink just for comparison. And let's see. Not sure if you guys can see that. I'm going to zoom in some here. There we go. So, of course, when you turn it on, we're just going to hit English and we're going to hit OK to say done. It's going to go through preparing it. You're not adding any ink or anything like that to it. It's just starting to set up. It's going to tell you when to put your ink in it. While it's going through that, I am going to go over to the computer and just show you where you're going to get the drivers from. I already have the drivers installed on my computer, but if you don't, and it's brand new for you, first time setting up the Epson EcoTank printer. Okay, what the heck was that? Oh, okay. So that's to put the ink in. So that's the first thing it tells you is to go ahead and put the ink in. Not sure if you guys can see that. So we're going to kind of hold off on that part. I'm going to share my screen. And one second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. Someone was there dropping off something and I hit the desk. Okay, let's go ahead and share the screen. And you're going to go over to Epson's website. So to get to that, you're going to go to Google and you're going to type in Epson, whatever printer you are using. So in my case, ET2720 driver. And it's going to take you to the Epson support page. And you're going to click on that. And it doesn't matter if it shows the black one, they're the same printer. You're going to go down to where it says drivers. You can do the full combo installation, or you can go and just put in the drivers. This is the one for the scanner so that you can scan your blanks and create your own templates. This is the one for the printer driver if you want to do the remote one. And you can also email things to your computer and print it that way also. So those are different drivers. You can do the combo. It will install everything. So this is something that you need to do. I already have it on my computer, so I don't necessarily have to worry about this. When you go through the driver and do all the installer, it's also going to tell you to make sure that you put the inks in and that you charge it by hitting the question mark. Again, I don't have to worry about this part because I already have it. I'm going to open up Silhouette Studio. I'm going to go File, Print, although I could have just gone to the apps. But I have my 2720. Well, this is a 2720. It's not this one. So you're going to see another one pop up, and I'm going to change the name of that one. So we're going to go ahead and cancel that. And go back to the printer to fill the inks. All right, let's zoom back out here a little bit. All right. So I'll probably just leave it this way. I know that light is kind of harsh right there on that one. So it just says hit OK to proceed. I'm going to go ahead and drop this down. Make sure to match the colors of the ink bottle with the ink tanks. You're going to hit OK. So it says fill the tank with ink. Hold down the question mark for more than 5 seconds. That is how you charge. That is one of the most important steps for this. Now, for this one, I'm going to set it up properly. I am going to do my pigment ink one. So I have another one of these that I'm going to put pigment ink in. With that one, I'm going to skip this step and then open up the printer and show you how to manually charge it so that the ink will actually print out. If you don't charge it, the ink is actually just sitting in your reservoirs and it will kind of pull into the line, but it's not going to be in that little cartridge that's on the inside. There is a cartridge on this, okay? And also, 1 second. Like I said, this one is messed up. So yeah, there are cartridges, on the inside. All right, we are going to go ahead and fill this. Like I said, I'm not using the open ones, but these are the open bottles. They're key. I'm just going to put the ink in there. They are universal keys, so there's no right or wrong way when you are putting them in, putting the ink in the printer. So like I said, I'm going to purposely not fill this up. There we go. So it's there, it's filling up. It is now to that little arrow, and I'm going to stop. Close that one. It's giving it enough to go through the lines and then charge. So the next one is yellow. So we're going to put that on there. I'm going to let that fill up to right before, like right above the arrow that's there, so that I'm not wasting the ink, just in case there's something wrong with this printer. I think I want to put a little bit more black in there so that it's above the arrow. Right now it's like right at the arrow. All right, yeah, come off of there. Okay, so you're gonna hold down the question mark for more than 5 seconds. All right, so we're gonna hold that down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, it happened at like 3 seconds. Okay, so it says start initialization. Confirm that the ink is filled. The tank is filled with ink. It's not technically filled with ink, but we're going to go ahead and say yes. So you're going to hit start, and that would be this one right here. So you're going to just go ahead and hit start. So it's going to initialize, and it's going to pull that ink in and send it through the lines. It normally takes about 10 minutes or so, that it says. And see, yeah, those ink levels went down because now the ink is going through the tubes and going into the printer. So these ink levels are going down, which I think I probably should have put a little bit more in the black. The other ones are not as bad. So the yellow went first. It just did the black. So I think it does it color by color. It doesn't do them all at the same time because the yellow went down, the black went down. The magenta and the cyan are still where they originally were. It looks like it's doing the magenta now. So that's starting to go down some. I'm going to put a little bit more black in there. It seems like it took a lot more black. The yellow, not so much. The black went down a little bit more than the other one. So I'm going to just put a little bit in there just to make sure that it doesn't mess up. All right. The magenta and the cyan did not move yet. Actually, the magenta is going down now. The cyan has not moved, but the black and the yellow did. So we're going to let that initialize on there. And I'm going to go over to the computer and just kind of show you print settings that I'm going to set up for this. So how to set up your presets and things like that. Because if not, I mean, all we're going to really do is watch that initialize. Okay. Let's see. We also have some questions here. So when switching from one brand of ink to another, what is the process? Let each run out and fill as they run out, or is there a different process? So yes, you can do that. As each one kind of goes out, you would put the ink on there. There can be slight differences in the ink makeup and the way that it is formulated. So if you are like in the middle of a print job, you might see a difference in color, or maybe the next time that you print something that you printed before, you could potentially see a difference in color because the ink profiles are different. Doesn't mean that one is right or wrong, but if you are used to using one, like I said, you may see a difference, especially when you are mixing the inks. With these particular printers, it is a lot easier to switch out the inks because you can lift this up, unscrew it. You can actually get on the inside, get to the tubes, drain it out completely, and then put new ink in. With the ones like the 15,000 and the 16,600, you aren't able to easily do those. But with this kind, you actually can. All right, so it's still going on there. Let me see if there are any other questions. Yes, please don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you guys so very much. All right, so let's go ahead and head over to the computer. The computer again. And I'm going to show you guys the print settings that I use. Now, you can either set them from any program, And right now, it's not going to notice that there's that printer on there. After it's fully set up, then I'll be able to go in and put this particular printer on my Wi-Fi, and then my computer will be able to find it. But while it's doing that, I'm going to go over here. Now you can go to any program to set your presets. Again, this will be after you've put it on there and you have the drivers and all that, and it notices. You won't get this until you attach your printer to the computer. But this is what the steps that you'll take at that point. So we're going to go File, Print, or you can go to your start screen. We're going to go to the settings and go to devices and devices. So you can go to printers and scanners. And for this one, it is which one? There we go. So this is the old one, the old 2720. So I have that there. I can set my presets. And because the drivers are the same, no matter how many printers you have, you're not setting presets for one printer over the other. Even once I set up my 2720 with pigment ink, I will still be able to use, like, I'm going to still see those same presets. Okay. So I can either go here and you go to manage, go to printing preferences, and you're going to see this window. If your window, when you go to printing preferences, does not look like this, then there is an issue and your drivers did not install properly. This is the screen that you want to see when you are using a Windows PC computer. For Macs, it's a little bit different. For Macs, when you go and put the drivers in and you install the printer on there, it's going to ask you, how do you want to use it? It's going to say AirPrint, Secure AirPrint, or you can choose the one that says Epson and then the printer name. For use, you are going to put in, like, you're going to select Epson, like select the printer itself. Your AirPrint or AirPrint, you want to actually select the printer itself. So that you get all of the settings and you'll be able to use generic print settings and all of that and have that particular screen. But for me, I can go here or go to any program. To do your presets, you're going to choose your document size. It will show you a bunch of different paper types here. Be not fooled by all of these paper sizes that they have on here. The 2720, as well as all of the others. I'm going to go to my website real quick so that I can name off all of those printers. If you go to our website and you go to Sublimation Starter Collections and go down to Eco Tanks, it's going to list all the printers. So you have 2720, 2760, 2750, 3710, 3760, 4700, 4760, and a 7700. All of these, the max print width is 8.5 inches wide. So you can print to 8.5 by 11 paper, 8.5 by 14 paper, or when they are back in stock, you can order the 8.5 inch by 328 foot rolls and be able to cut them down. So whatever size you need. The max print length is 47.24 inches. 47.24 inches. So you can go 8.5 inches wide by 47.24 inches long. Then you have the 7750, which will allow 11 inches wide, but again, 47.24 inches long. The EcoTank 15,000, 1600, and 16650 allow for 13 inches wide, but you can print up to 47.24 inches long. All Epson desktop printers print that long, okay? So we're going to go back over to the settings. So although you will see all of this, ignore all of the tabloid 11 by 17, 13 by 19. You cannot print to those sizes from the 2720. So I'm going to choose, where is it? Letter size. I haven't tested on this particular printer as of yet. On my 7720, I have changed my settings up a little bit to kind of slow it down. We're going to see how this one does when it comes to like pizza wheels and all that good jazz. Unfortunately, with the 2720, it does not have an option to slow down your printing or increase your drying speed. I'm going to say something on your printing. It doesn't have an option to increase your drying time. Some of the other ones that cost a little bit more, they do have that option, but the 2720 does not have that option. And that one can be pretty, it's a pretty big one. I was using plain paper setting on this one. I personally never had an issue with it, with using the plain paper bright white setting. So that's what all of these are for. But if that is not working for you, or if you have an Epson 15,000 or anything like that, someone recommended the setting of presentation paper matte, not premium presentation paper matte, because they say that puts down too much ink. So presentation paper matte, you would leave it at standard. I was used on my 7720. I've adopted using high quality plain paper set all the way to quality, or I'll use plain paper bright white, but I changed it to where I go all the way up to quality. With the 2720, as you can see, you only have standard and high. You don't have all of those middle grounds for settings. I leave it set to standard. And then we're going to come down here. Quiet mode is going to be on. Under more options, I use Adobe RGB. So for color corrections, we're going to go to custom. You click on advanced, and color controls, you change the mode to Adobe RGB. I use 1.8. You can change your density here. The EcoTank printers, the way that it puts out the ink, it's like the concentration of it. The ink lasts a really long time, and people always say, oh, it doesn't use that much ink, but it actually puts down a good amount of ink from these printers. So you can adjust your density down from here, as well as under the maintenance settings. I'm going to take this down to -5 to start with, and I can always adjust it if needed. But on my 7720, I've started to use -5. And then we're going to hit OK. The high speed, I've come to realize that it doesn't make that much of a difference. I actually have videos where I record it with high speed on and high speed off, and it prints it the exact same time. So it tells me that the initializing is complete over there. So I'm going to just finish this up. So I'm going to leave my high speed. I'm going to go ahead and choose mirror. I'm going to go over to maintenance, extended settings. Thick paper and envelope should be checked. Mine was already checked because, again, I already had a 2720. And then for the density, I'm also going to go -5. And I'm going to hit OK. And then OK. Oh, shoot. I didn't mean to hit OK again. I meant to actually go back. So let's hope all of those settings are there. So let's go maintenance, extended. So -5, thick paper. And then you don't hit OK here. I want it to actually go back to make sure that everything was set up properly, which everything is here. So I'm going to go add or remove presets. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to title this 8.5 by 11. I set this to premium paper matte, so PPM instead of PPPM, premium presentation paper matte. This is just presentation paper matte. It's on standard. I put Adobe 1.8 just in case you decide you want to use like automatic or no color adjustments. I always kind of just label mine, and I'm going to put -5. I would normally just put -5 den, so density. And I'm just going to assign this a green notebook, and I'm going to hit save. Oh, I know what I forgot. Mirror on. I'm going to hit save again. And on this one, I'm going to delete. Okay. And close that out. So now I'm going to go back to main. All I'm going to do is change this to legal. Go to add or remove presets. And I'm going to click on the one that says 8.5 by 11, change that to 11 by 14, and just hit save. So now it will automatically, go to print 8.5 by 14 inch paper, and close. So we're going to take a pause over here, and I'm going to go back to the printer because it is telling me that it has finished the initializing process. All right, I need to grab a sheet of paper. I completely forgot to do that. So give me a moment to go grab a sheet of paper so that I can do the nozzle check. Do I even have any regular 8.5 by 11 paper in here? Yes, I do. This is, whoa. Going, everything is about to fall out of my closet. Okay. Lord, please don't let that fall while I'm on live. All right, this is just some glossy paper that I'm going to put in here just to do the nozzle check. It's not sub paper. I'm not going to waste sub paper to do a nozzle check. So I'm going to just lift this, pull my slider out, put my paper back here, close that, and so I can do the nozzle check. All right, so it says initializing complete. I'm going to hit OK to say that it is done. And it says align the print head to get the best quality. So it says I'm going to just put, so align the print head. I'm going to go ahead and just do it. So I'm just going to hit OK to proceed. And it says perform a print head nozzle check to check print quality. We're going to go ahead and print, load paper. You're going to hit this button here to print the nozzle check. All right, so the black is a little spotty for some reason, but you guys see, I did not fill those up. I don't know, it's only spotty there, and it might be the paper too, but all of the lines, all the ink is there. So I didn't even fill it up, right? If I go to, are there any missing lines? I mean, technically, yes, on the black, but I'm not worried about that for now. So for now, I'm just going to tell it no. Align print position to fix misalignments or banding. So I'm going to go ahead and just tell it to adjust. So let's just put a couple sheets of paper back here because we're going to need them. And let's adjust so you guys can see where that's loaded. And I'm just going to hit, we're going to hit confirm and print. So it's going to give us our alignment. All right, so question here is, can I use your ink with an EcoTank 7750? It has 5 bottles. Yes, what you would do is purchase an additional black bottle of ink, and you would fill both black reservoirs with the black sublimation ink. Because it's meant for regular ink, how that printer is set up, the smaller tank is for the dye ink because that is a dye-based printer. So the smaller one, the cyan, magenta, and yellow are dye-based, and then the bigger reservoir is for pigment ink, or they call it photo black. So you would just fill both ports with the sublimation ink or pigment ink if you are using it as a pigment ink printer. The thick paper, especially when it comes to sublimation, like the heavier papers, it makes the printer adjust for that thicker paper. So it is good practice on the printer itself and on the computer to choose thick paper so that it'll adjust how high the print head sits. So if it's thicker paper, there's a little leg, or yeah, like a little leg on the print head that adjusts up and down. So if you have it set to thick paper, that will have the ink, the ink carriage sit up higher and not scrape against your paper. So yes, you do want to select thick paper and envelope settings on both the Workforce and the EcoTank printers. All right, so this is my black. I am going to have to get that going because it is spotty on here as well, which means this is going to be really hard to kind of see. But it asks you to look at the printout and choose the boxes with the least lines on the next screen. So we're just going to hit OK to proceed. So for number 1, yeah, see, this is going to be kind of hard because my black is not the greatest because it did have some spots in it, which I don't understand why, because there was enough black in there. Not sure why that one had spot like breaks in it. That's kind of weird. But if there is an issue with the black one, guess what? I did not waste a bunch of ink in there, because you can see putting the small amount of ink in there should not have made that much of that, because look at the yellow, magenta, and cyan. Those lines are perfect. Oh, wait, where we go? Those lines are perfect, even though I did not fill it up with ink. I'm not sure what happened with the black. It could be that that print head is bad. So if I had filled it up with ink and it is bad, I can't get it to clear up, I would have had to drain all of that ink to then send it back. This is why I only put a small amount. So for this one, I guess, yeah, 3 is like the best looking one. So I'm going to hit OK. On number 2, I guess 4, it would be the one. For 3, it's actually 5. So I'm going to go up. On line 4, it is 6. On line 5, it is 5. So go up to 5. On line 6, it is 4. On line 7, it is 6. All right, so load the paper and print. It's going to print the other one. So I don't need this. I use the exact same settings that you see here as far as Adobe RGB 1.8. My paper settings, I use plain paper, bright white, set to high or set to quality. You can't do that on the EcoTanks, but I have several videos where I've gone over that. I have started using just to kind of test it, and it slows down the printing quite a bit. It does take a lot longer to print, but I have used plain paper, high quality plain paper set to quality, and everything else is exactly the same. So I have been playing around with that setting. All right, so this is this alignment one. And I'm sorry, I know I was yelling in y'all ear because I was actually leaning over to get something. So with this one, it says choose rectangles that are not separated or overlapping, and that would be number 2. Yeah, it looks like number 2. So okay, and there's a slight separation, so I guess that would be number 2. Down to number 2, and okay. Print head alignment complete. You can adjust again for maintenance, hit OK. All right, so I'm going to go to settings, maintenance. No, so maintenance, nozzle check, head cleaning, power cleaning, print head alignment, reset ink level, paper guide. No, so wait, let's see. Let's go back. Printer setup, Paper source setting, quiet mode, turn off, language, sleep timer, no, back, network settings, Epson Connect services, Google Cloud, print status sheet, supply status sheet. Okay, and print. I had to remember where it was. Oh, well, no, that's not telling me supply status. That is not telling me what I wanted to know. I'm going to have to set it up to really see it. Why is it not showing me usage history, configuration, status sheet? I have no idea what that means. I normally see it on the printer, but I haven't set this one up to the Wi-Fi yet. Okay, that ain't what I want. All right, let's go back. And I don't know, print counter, no, restore firmware. All right, let's just go ahead and go to home and do Wi-Fi setup so I can see on my computer where it is. So we're going to go Wi-Fi setup, Wi-Fi recommended. We're going to hit that. You can print wirelessly from computers, devices via Wi-Fi. Hit OK. And wizard setup. It's going to search for that. And I'm going to take it off of the screen so y'all don't see my Wi-Fi password as soon as it comes up. So I'm just going to switch the camera so y'all can't see my password. Whoa, did not realize that had moved all the way over there. Don't mind my junk, okay? Sorry. Don't mind my junk. All right, so we're going to go here and okay. Oh, Lord, I hate doing it this way because it's not touch like the other one. So you're going to be on the ABC and you're going to go up or down to get to the letters. And then you're going to go to your, hold on. Oh, shoot. We're going to go up and then you're going to hit OK to lock that in. No, wait, no, not lock it in. Go back. Why won't it switch to, oh, the circle is the one that you hit to go to the lowercase. All right, so let's go there and then move over. Okay, and then hit it again to get to the special characters and numbers. Okay, and then go back. Oh, you know what? It's better for me to go down. And then numbers again, I think. Oh, no, special characters. Let's see. My sister is so loud. She is so loud out there. I think that's it. Hit OK. And hopefully it sets up. Oh, trying to take out some of that Miami sun that will affect the camera. All right, setup complete. Hit report. And we're going to go yes. And it's going to print out the report. All right. So that is telling me that everything is done. I want to print a nozzle check because it seems like the black is printing okay now. So you can register. Do I remind you later? Nope, I do not need you to remind me later. let's go over to settings and maintenance, nozzle check, and print. I'm going to see if that black cleared up some. So now I'm going to go back to the computer and check my supply status. Okay, so that did clear up. So it was just a temporary one. There's like one little 2 breaks right there, but that's not anything bad. So with all those printings, the black did clear up. Okay. Oh, I need to actually, so I'm going to cancel. I forgot to bring that on there. You have to give me a second. I forgot to search to put this one on there. So we're going to go back here. I'm going to go back to settings. I'm going to go add printer or scanner. Because I was like, wait, why isn't that giving me the ink status? But that is because that's not the printer. So it's on my Wi-Fi. So I always put the Wi-Fi on my printers first, and then I go and search for it on the computer. All right, so there it is. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. That is the 2720. Nope, not what I want. Where is the 2720? So not this one. It's showing me the 7720. I don't want that one. And this is showing me it definitely is on my Wi-Fi. So it should pop up. Let me make sure that I am on. Okay, the printer that I want isn't listed. All right, cancel. I am currently on. Wait, where am I? Huh? Why are you not showing at all? Huh, interesting. Alrighty, let's go to Silhouette Studio and let's see if I can get it to pull up that way. So file, print, and we're gonna go to find printer. Oh my gosh. Why are you not finding my printers? Let's see. Hold on. Because I'm not even seeing my network on here for some reason. Okay. Because I am definitely live right now. So I know that I am connected via Wi-Fi. Let's see. My Google Doc is good. But for some reason, it's not picking up my Wi-Fi. Let's go back and let's go to networks. Wi-Fi. Show available networks. And yes, I am connected. So why are you not finding? I am connected to the correct one. Why are you not finding my printer? Okay, let's see if it will find it now. Not sure why it's not finding the printer. Because I do have it connected. Everything passed, so it should be on my network. Not sure why it's not coming up. I may turn it off and turn it back on to see if it'll pick up then. But for some reason, it's not picking up on my network. I don't want that. I don't need that one. I already have that one set up. Okay, let's I already have the driver, so I shouldn't have to do that again. If I have to go through the drivers again, I'll do it that way, but I should not have to because I already have the drivers on there. But maybe it wants me to do the drivers again, so I'll oblige and we will go through the whole driver process. So I'm going to go down here to printer drivers and download, but I should not have to. It's already on here. Nope, you are not my default. Automatically update software. I don't care. English. Sign my life away. Yes, so it is on there. Okay. So it is looking for it, I'm guessing. Oh, so I guess you do have to go through the drivers, I guess, for it just to find it. That's kind of weird. Didn't have to do that for my 7720 when I added the new one on there. So your printer driver will now be installed. We're a success. So I guess for this one, you do have to do the printer driver just so that it can find the printer. So lesson learned. Did not have to do that with my other one. So we're going to close out and I'm going to go back here and 2720. Here we go. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to manage and actually go back. Yeah, manage and printer properties. There we go. And I'm going to name this 2720 series. I'm going to name it sub because I am going to do one that has pigment ink in it. And we're going to go print test page. I want to make sure that it is connected. So we're going to go go ahead and print that. I'm going to hit OK on that one. And I guess because it's printing out the test page, it tells me that it can't be displayed. So we're going to go back, sub, manage, printer preferences. So there's that. And we did this portion. Yep. All right. Cool beans. All of that is there. I'm going to go to ink levels and look at this. I did not fill up the ink tanks. How be ever? It is telling me that they are full. This is, and so everyone always says, oh, eco tanks, it manages your levels. And that's why I love eco tanks. That makes me cringe every time someone says that. So you can clearly see I did not. But it also will tell you that the appropriate ink levels may be different from the actual ink levels. To confirm the actual ink remaining, visually check the ink levels in all of the tanks of the printer. Prolonged use of the product when the ink level is below the line on the tank could damage the printer. Even they tell you to always do a visual check. That is the same when it comes to your cartridge-based printers. So a lot of people want to go to it for this, but your levels can be off as well when using an eco tank, which is why whenever you add ink to it and you top it off, they tell you to go in and reset your levels. If you do not reset your levels, it is not going to read full. There is nothing in the printers themselves that weighs the ink, whether it is an eco tank printer or if it is a cartridge-based printer. There is nothing that tells it how much ink is actually in any of the tanks or cartridges. There is an internal system, basically like a chip, that reads it, and you're just setting it. All of these printers basically work off of a counter, where there is a stored number of prints. Like if it's filled with ink, there should be there's a stored number of prints when it's full, and it's counting down. Once you refill it, you just reset the level. If you go and let's say you put in ink, and let's say the last time you go, it's not quite full, and you put in ink into, you put ink in there and you only get it halfway full. If you go to reset the levels, guess what? It's going to tell you that it's full. So do not be fooled in thinking that eco tanks give you an accurate reading, because you guys saw that I only filled it up halfway. Now I am about to go and fill up the rest of this since I know that everything is working. I just wanted you guys to see this, because if that is the reason why you choose eco tanks, that is not true. So you see it for yourself. This is why I'm the professor, and this is why I do videos like this that gives you a different look when you are setting up your printers, and I try to give you guys all the information possible for your printers, and like all the information you need for Sublimation and Pigment Ink. Did y'all know that? Did you find that interesting, that it reads full and we know that we didn't put a lot of ink in it? So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on that and hit, oh no, I hate that thing at the bottom. We're going to exit out, and let's go over here. And let's print something out. So let's go File, Open. And we're going to go, is it For Me? I forget what that thing is called. Oh gosh. It's the HS For Me file. There we go. And I'm going to change this page size to 8.5. So it's 8.5 by 11. And make this a little bit bigger. Move this over. And now I am going to put sub ink in it. First, let's go ahead and make sure that we top off all of our ink. So before I forget about that, I'm going to go in, open this up. Might as well start here. And I'm going to top off my inks and let them fill up while I go get some sublimation paper. Oh, it's actually behind me. So it will gurgle. It will let you know when it's full. You cannot overfill it. It will actually stop gurgling. So it stopped. I'm going to take that out. Ooh, I almost made a big mistake. I'm so used to it being the other way around. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and post your questions now if you have any questions. And we're going to put some, honestly speaking, sub paper back there. So it stopped gurgling, lets me know that it is done. Oh, come on. No questions? Well, welcome to Silhouette Studio software. So she said, downloaded the software today, even though I'm a Cricut girl. You can do a lot of designing in Silhouette Studio, so it's okay. I'm a Silhouette girl, yet I have Cricut Design Space on my computer. And we'll see the bubble stop moving too. So it actually stopped. It's just bubbling. It's actually nothing else going in there. And I'm going to go ahead and plug up my Vavor Easy Press. Or maybe I should have done a mug or something, because that probably would have been easier. Because this is going to take a while to, I'd say a while, but. Oh, come on, turn on. There we go. Are you full? All right, guess you are full. All right, just didn't look like it. All right, we are full and ready to go. So this says rear paper feed, previous paper setting, letter plain paper. So it says confirm or change. I sent this as presentation paper matte. This is what is considered a paper mismatch on this printer. So I'm going to zoom in so you can see what that says. Not sure if you can kind of see that. So that's what a paper mismatch is. Sometimes I ask people, hey, they give you a paper mismatch, and they'll say no. For the set, like for the wider formats and for the cartridge ones, it'll say a paper mismatch. This is the no, go back. This, oh no, wait, there we go. Oh, come on. That was the equivalent, and now it's gone. But is it queued up to print? Did I hit print on this? I don't know if I did or not. But that was the equivalent of a paper mismatch. I'm going to go ahead and send this to print. I don't know if I sent it to print already. File, print, and where is my, I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to find the 2720, which is this one. Why it didn't change the name, I have no idea, but I can change it from here. I'm going to right click, rename, and name this. I'm going to take off this portion and EcoTank 2720, and I'm going to put Sublimation and take off that parentheses and hit enter. And then for this one, we're going to go ahead and print. because I kind of explained it when I said that it puts out too much ink. So with our paper and the way that it's made, it doesn't absorb a lot of ink. So you change the density so that it's not putting out so much ink. I thought I answered that one. I'm sorry. So whenever you get that, you can't just hit, So for you, when you get it, you will choose proceed with specified settings, meaning the settings that you sent from the computer. So yes, that's what you want to do. Okay, so this definitely did not go at the right settings because I have banding. It's actually a good lesson because this is printing out way too fast and we have banding lines. Oh, let me go back over here. So when you guys ask, what are banding lines? Why does this look like this? Sometimes God just knows what I need. So this is actually perfect. It actually printed out. I'm going to go back to it. And I should have known better because it did not tell me. It didn't ask me about the print settings. So that printed out on plain paper setting standard. So I'm going to go File, Print again. And we're going to go back here. I'm going to go Preferences. I'm on plain paper, bright white standard. I am not on the preset that I made. So when you get those really thick lines in your prints, it is because it is on plain paper setting. That's where the banding lines come from, okay? So we're going to go ahead and choose the 8.5 by 11 presentation paper matte setting and hit OK and print. And we should get that mismatch. So this is what happens when you use the plain paper standard setting. It doesn't put out a lot of ink. It spreads out the way that it prints. So you will get banding lines. I don't need to do a print head cleaning. My nozzle check was fine. This is because of the print setting that was selected at that time. So right now it says, so it is telling me paper mismatch. So paper type does not match your print settings. Confirm current settings. So if you hit OK, it's going to say letter plain paper, continue printing, change settings, or cancel printing. You're going to take it down to change settings. I don't think it tells you which one it is. You're just going to go change settings. That's letting it know to print from the settings that you put on the computer and not what it's currently set to. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK to proceed. Print settings will be changed. And we're going to go ahead and hit print. So now it's going to print out. It's going to print out a lot slower. And you will see that the quality of the print will be different as well. What is the difference between Adobe Color versus Epson? It's just a color profile, and it's kind of hard to tell from here, but when I'm printing, especially from the Epson 7720, there is a big difference in the color and how dark it prints. So it's just a color. It is its own internal color profile. So I find that the Epson Vivid profile does not work well for sublimation prints. The colors come out off and way, way too dark. What is the difference between dye and pigment ink? This is more so about sublimation, but I will take the time to answer since that is printing out. Dye inks, which that's why I kind of brought this over here. If you look at them, the colors of all of these are really, really dark, right? That's dye ink. They all can pretty much pass for black ink. I mean, if you put it up to the light, you will start to see like the actual colors on there. So you can see a little bit of like that pink and then like blue over there, but this is really dark ink. This ink is not waterproof. When you look at pigment ink, it looks like almost like the sublimation ink where it's going to look the color that it should be. So let me grab a pigment ink bottle. I asked my husband for a yellow, and I actually had one. So this is pigment ink. So you see the actual color. This is waterproof ink. So that's the major difference. Dye inks are great for people who do screen print and print on transparency because it's dark. It blocks out light. So for them, they like to use those. But most standard printers will come with dye inks. But pigment ink is waterproof and it looks opaque. Like it looks the color that it should be. All right, I'm also going to take the time right now, Patricia, to find yours and print that out. So let me open up, let me find that one file, open, downloads, and let's find your image. All right, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And we're going to go File, Print, Preferences. Okay, and print that one. And grab my little scrap piece of fabric so that we can press this. I don't know what's wrong with, hold on, y'all. I'm going to go out for a second, show you the screen, and then I'm going to clean this. I don't know why it looked so blurry. I don't know if I touched it or what, but it looked kind of blurry. Oh, still, I think it's just the lighting. Okay. And then it zoomed in a lot. But this is the difference in printing on that setting, like a higher ink setting versus not so high ink setting. So you get those banding lines. Now, I can also print this on plain paper, bright white, set to high, and it also won't come out with these bandings. I'm actually going to print one of those like that as well. But this is how this printed out. So right now I'm going to go to preferences. The drivers are the same. So those same settings are there. I'm going to go 8.5 by 11. This was my plain paper, bright white. Oh, you know what? Under this one, you can go to more settings. So let's go to more settings. I'm going to set that to quality and then hit OK. Everything else is set the same. Quiet mode, Adobe RGB, like all of that is the same. I'm actually going to leave the high speed on. And we're going to print this yet again. You know, I should have printed that for small for a mug. All right. So I can tell this is probably going to have a pink undertone to it, like a pink overtone. There's a very big difference between the Epson 7710, the Epson workforce printers and EcoTank printers because the color profiles are different. This does look like it's going to have a bit of a reddish overtone, but we're going to press it and see. So it's telling me that my paper type does not match because I went to plain paper setting. So we're going to hit OK and change settings and print. But I'm going to grab my, where is my pad? I don't know. I'm just going to grab another one. We're going to push this back. I have my little piece of fabric here. And we're going to press Miss Patricia's on because that's why I set this up so that I can test this color from here because it is different. And I'll actually print one from the 7720 so that you can see the difference. So yeah, it is not, to me, it's not as red as the picture you posted, but it does have, on camera, it doesn't seem like it. So I'm not sure if, I mean, what the issue. So it's not as red as yours was, Miss Patricia. But it's also not like silver. But that is the way that came out from that printer. Uh-oh, hold on. There we go. And I'm going to print it from the 7720 as well. So that's a pretty good setting as well, is to just set it to high quality. It takes a little longer to print, but that helps slows down the printing. I was finding on the other one that the plain paper just set to high was printing out so fast, and it didn't give it time to dry. So this is actually a pretty good setting. So either one of those will work. Okay. I'm going to print yours from File, Print. We're going to go over to the 7720 sub printer, 7720 sub 2, and preferences, 8.5 by 11. I'm going to go high quality plain paper, quality, okay, quiet mode, Adobe RGB, high speed. That's another misconception, that you have to turn off high speed. I find that it's not necessary. It actually prints out the same. I'm going to share those videos with you guys one of these days when I edit it down, that it prints out the exact same time. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit OK and print. And I have to put 8.5 by 11 paper over yonder. Hold on 1 second. Got to get some paper and put over there. All right, so that's going to print out. And I'm going to show you the difference in these. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. So this is the one that just printed out, which was plain paper, bright white, set to quality. So like the highest quality that it can be set to is what this was printed out on. And then this is the one that was, what is that thing called? Premium, no, presentation paper matte, set to standard, not high, set to standard. This was that one. And then this is if you left it on plain paper, bright white. Plain paper, bright white, set to standard is when you get the banding lines. I have no idea why my lighting looks horrible right now. I'm going to cut these off and press these so that you can see the difference in them. And, oh man, it pulled out 2 papers over here. That's okay. So this did not have that red tone. But sir, I'm working on a color profile for this one to try and get it to match closer to this. But you can see there's a slight difference already just in the print from the 7720 and the 2720. They have different color profiles, so the colors come out different. All right, let's go ahead and put, where did it go? Where did my print go that? Y'all, what did I do with that print that fast? Get my soul. Oh, right here. All right, so let's go ahead and cut that off. I'm just going to use this to cover up that side. We're going to put this here, press it, and then see the difference in the two. If you have multiple printers, can they print at the same time? Yes, they can. Do it all the time with my sub printer. I used to have 2 pigment ink printers because I do a lot of party stuff. And I would send prints to both my 7720s at the same time. But I can send them to my both my 7720s, my 7840, and my Sublimation printer. So you definitely can print more than one thing at a time. Yeah, I forgot. I took my hand off. I probably ghosted this because I took my hand off to answer the question. So I probably ghosted. That's fine. So you see the difference in the color from the 7720 and the 2720. There's a difference in color. This does have more of a reddish overtone because it's a different color profile. This is made to work with dye inks and not pigment inks. So when you're looking at what pigment ink is and how the sublimation looks, it's closer to it. Even though it's slightly different, sublimation ink is heat activated. So the ink in the bottle is going to look different because this is what you print is what you get. This is heat activated. But the color, these both are opaque. So you can see the color. So the sub ink is meant to match this color profile, not this color profile. So it's slightly different. So you do have to have a external color profile to make this operate as if it is dye inks. And I am working on that color profile. Okay. But yes, that's the difference in the colors from one to the other. And now that I have this reference, Miss Patricia, your picture will be my reference sheet for testing my color profile that I'm going to create. All right, so we're going to see the difference. If there's a difference between, and even the blues, like, I mean, this is a teal, this is a blue. I'm going to see maybe also if I don't use Adobe RGB, because someone asked that, I'll see if I can get it closer to that teal color by not using Adobe RGB as well. So I'm going to just cut this off. That's why, especially when you're designing, it's important to use color charts and print it from the printer that you are using. All right, we're going to put this here. This is I'm going to grab my sub pins. So this is PPM, and this is plain paper bright white. So that's the difference. Those are the results once it's pressed. So this was premium matte. This was plain paper. No difference. Premium matte. And plain paper. No difference in the quality. My lighting in here is horrible. It's not doing any justice. It actually looks way better than what it looks like on camera. I actually find, for me, actually I do see the difference. The PPM one, the presentation paper matte, to me, the yellow looks greenish. Well, see, that's so weird because on camera, it looks pure yellow and it really isn't. I need to take a picture of this. On this one, it looks pure yellow. For me, looking at it, it actually looks greenish up here and pure yellow. So I'm going to always use the plain paper bright white setting, or high quality plain paper setting. That's my go-to. I prefer that over anything. And you don't see a difference in quality as far as the blacks and how it pressed. The quality of it is still great. The ink colors on it is great. The yellow does look a little bit off to me on the top one compared to the bottom one. All right. So that's that. So that's just to show you as far as your print settings and the whole high quality, the high speed thing doesn't really make a difference. I was one to where, kind of just so used to hearing certain things, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Actually, I think the reason why that's like that, it's undercooked. There's a little bit more black left, more color on this. So this one, because it was more ink, it needed to be pressed longer. So look at the difference in the colors. So that's probably why this one looks a little greenish and not quite as yellow, because it was under sublimated just a little bit. When you look at the amount of ink that came off of the plain paper one and the premium matte. So settings matters when it comes to pressing as well. I've mentioned this before, that settings matter when it comes to the settings that you press with. And that's why I'm able to press sublimate at much lower temperatures and faster times, because I don't use settings that produce a lot of ink. This produced a lot of ink. Look at how much ink is left on there and the difference in the two. Plain paper, bright white, premium matte, it uses more ink. And I talked about that when I first released my paper, that it's a very big difference. So that's probably why this one looks green. I should have pressed it a little bit longer, because normally green does mean under sublimated. But that's that. All right. Let's see. I think I missed a few questions. What type of paper would you use to test print settings, or do you have to use HS ink and just do small images? And also, what type of fabric are you testing on? That's just regular polyester fabric, so nothing special. It's just polyester fabric. You can use plain, you can use regular paper. You're just, it's not going to be an accurate indicator of, how it's going to press, your press times, your temperatures, because the color is going to look slightly different using regular old copy paper. And because you're going to have to use butcher paper to cover it up so that it doesn't bleed through. Remember, our paper does not bleed through. So you're getting direct heat to the back of the sub paper to help the ink release a lot faster. So you're going to get better prints. You can use any type of paper. I've printed to colored cardstock before, and I still get the ink color is just a little bit different, and I have to cover up with butcher paper. All right, trying to set up my camera to show me. All right, 1 second. Uh-oh. All right. Ooh, the lighting in here is so off because both of my lights are behind me, like are in front of me. So the lighting is going to be way off. This camera is going to show completely cuckoo crazy, but it's okay. It's still great information. Let's see. Any other questions about setting up your printer? Okay, so I set my print settings on the computer for my 7710. However, every time I get ready to print, I have to push that done select my paper size. If you're changing the paper like size or if you're changing the paper type, that will happen every single time. You will get the paper mismatch. That is a Vavor Easy Press. I actually have all 3 sizes. So Vavor Easy Press. And I'm going to actually print. I'm going to do one more test to see if I don't use any type of color correction. So I'm going to leave it to automatic. I'm going to go plain paper, bright whites. Let's go ahead and switch this to here. I'm going to go plain paper, bright white. I'm going to go to more settings and set it to high quality. Okay. Under more options, I'm going to leave it at automatic. We're going to mirror it. I just want to see what that color comes out to. And we're going to print. And let's see if that can help your colors. Like until I can come up with a color profile, I'm going to see if that can help the colors also. Under just automatic versus, and then I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete this one and I'm going to do this one for no color adjustment. No, let's do Epson Vivid. File, print, preferences. All this will remain the same under more options, custom, advanced. I'm going to leave it at Epson Vivid. Oh, I forgot to change my density. Well, actually for this one, I really don't. I don't know. I've gotten so used to changing it now with my 7720. I need to save the presets just so that it doesn't put out so much ink. And then print. Okay, yeah, that definitely is very much so blue. Definitely not teal in any way, shape, or form. I don't know, but we're going to see. I'm going to let the next one print out. And so we're just going to let that print out. And I'm going to test those one last time. How big is this print? Oh no, it should definitely fit on there. And then after that, we'll be done. If there are no other questions, as soon as I press this, we will wrap up and be done. All right, so between the Epson Vivid and this one was automatic. This doesn't have as much of a red or overtone, but it also doesn't look like the one from the 7720. But we're going to go ahead and press these and see what it gives us. I don't know if this is going to do both of these. I doubt it. So yeah, I'm only going to have to do one and then move it over and finish pressing the other one. If you want to test a poly cotton blend fabric, what would you suggest? I'm not sure what you mean. What would I suggest as far as what? Print settings, what to use? I'm not sure what you're asking. Probably going to ghost because it did move. Yeah, that's still very much so blue. It's actually a much brighter blue. So yeah, it's just the way that the color, the inks work for the EcoTank printers. The color profiles are totally different. Oh, I forgot to turn. You don't need the vibration. I normally just kind of turn it on because I always don't feel like I'm putting enough pressure. But that should work right there. And let's see the results. So yeah, they both are definitely not teal. It's not that much of a reddish overtone, but the blue is definitely wrong. So definitely have to work on the color profile for the EcoTank printers. But it doesn't have as much of a red overtone, but the blues it's not teal. It definitely comes out blue. All right. So that's that. And this is how it should look. This is like the same setting, just from this printer. This is automatic. This is Epson Vivid. So you can see the difference between Adobe RGB and Epson Vivid, even on this printer. So imagine how it is on the 7720. So when you ask me why, I've tested it. I've shown videos where I've tested every single print setting to see how it comes out. So this is why I use, this is why I use Adobe RGB. How long does it typically take to receive items from my website? If your order is placed before 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it goes out the same day. If your order is received after that, it goes out with the next day's orders. We take it to UPS. Normally, if it's like a UPS order, we normally take that around like 4. So it'll go out for the UPS orders for today. And USPS picks up from us. It varies. So they'll pick up whatever we have. And if we still have orders that's coming in, they came before 3 o'clock, we take them to the post office before it closes at 5. So it does go out for the day. But anything before 3 p.m. gets sent out same day. After 3 p.m., it gets sent out the next day. And then on Saturday, your order has to be in by 11 a.m. And UPS orders placed after Friday at 3 p.m. do not go out until Monday because UPS does not pick up from the stores on Saturdays. They're closed. They won't pick it up until Monday. So if you place an order and you're sending it via UPS, you need to get it in by Friday at 3 p.m. because anything after that does not actually see movement until Monday. We take it to the to UPS and they'll scan it, but it doesn't move from the UPS store and get picked up to go to the main hub until Monday. And to order your supplies, again, that is shop.silaholics.anonymous.com. There's the sublimation ink, the sublimation paper. As you can see, no butcher paper required. You can use an easy press that was set at, I think it said 370. Well, it keeps showing 370, but it's actually set at 365. And I hold it a little bit longer because it's an easy press for like 50 seconds. But actually, the first one, I pulled it away at 40 seconds. So you can see it still sublimates beautifully at 40 seconds with an easy press. And it is actually 300. Now it's showing the right temperature, 365. We are team 365 over here. That's how you always remember your print settings. I mean, your heat settings. All right. So thank you guys so very much for joining me. Hopefully this was informative for you guys. I will be switching over. Well, I'll be putting pigment ink in another 2720 right after this. But with that one, I'm going to not hit the question mark and then show you how to pull the ink through so that you can actually print. Because if you don't hit the question mark, it's going to print out blank for you because it's not going to charge properly. Or at least that's what most people, they always forget to do it. I'm going to test it and see if that's the reason why. And then if it is, I'll open it up, pull the ink through and show you how to fix it without having to do a power clean. All right. So thank you guys so very much. Visit our website. And until next time, guys, have a great one and be ink credible. Peace.